It may not seem like it, but Riot's been on a pretty hefty nostalgia bender as of late. A sizable amount of patches this year have solely focused on skin lines either brought out of retirement or thought to never return in the first place.
I am officially back.
The great thing about that is these skin lines finally get a second chance to prove themselves. The bad thing about that is results vary drastically. So to hear Battle Queens was coming back, a skin line with only one patch under its belt, and having the unfortunate stigma of making it appear as though Rel's launch skin was designed before she was, made it a thematic whose comeback myself and many others weren't overly anticipating. However, the concept of Warrior Queens is a fun idea, and as much as Katarina makes me want to peel my own skin off, her Battle Queen skin is undeniably one of the highest quality legendaries in the entire game. So now that they're back, do these new monarchs not only live up to the legacy of their predecessors, but can they compete for shelf space alongside not one, but two mythic scams?
Oh, goody.
Something tells me I'm gonna like a few of these more than the others, so let's start with Battle Queen Gwen, the queen of Caligo, and next in rhyme to Queen Isolde. What happened to the father? Oh, I'm sure he's just fine off doing important things with his uncle.
Why are you white?
Attempting to turn her scissors into an elaborate sword is respectable, and considering a chest plate slapped onto her base design could pass for a battle queen enough, it's undeniable she's a good fit for this skin line. But sometimes I think a no-brainer pick relies too much on the thematic parallels, resulting in a skin that is perfectly passable, but nothing special. Wait, we cut her hair. She only has one pigtail this time. That's cool, right? Soul Fighter Gwen has chain chomp shoes. You have chain chomp shoes? I don't think you have chain chomp shoes. Tanzanite is the best chroma. 7 out of 10. Battle Queen Fiora.
No! It can't be! No!
Her flower eye patch and orange splotches operating as not just great contrast to the white, gold, and blue of her armor, but as a visual signifier of her mentorship role with the fiery Annie.
Destroy the child.
Armor that accentuates her traditionally feminine hourglass shape without looking ridiculous.
Brother,
And finally, for the first time, what feels like years, her cape is a practical, natural part of her design instead of the usual, oops, we forgot about again, what other kinds of dismembered wings do we have to staple to her neck this time? I cannot deny this is easily one of her best skins, and I'm actually shocked at myself. I'm sad it wasn't a legendary, and I'm shocked even more she still doesn't have one yet. Rose Quartz is the best chroma, 9 out of 10. Battle Princess Annie. So, yeah, I think Riot's running out of ideas with this champ. You can only put her in different kinds of dresses before I look at the chromas for this one and think, oh, Sweetheart Annie, Hextech Annie, Winterblessed Annie. Hell, the base Battle Queen color scheme is almost identical to Cafe Cuties. So as usual, the saving grace of the Annie skin is Tibalk's persona.
corrupt them all.
Though as crazy as he looks here, it has been noted many different times on many different social media platforms that the face looks suspiciously similar to Jax.
Okay.
Guys, come on, the Jax PDF jokes can stop now. One of the most wholesome characters in the entire League mythos does not deserve a reputation this awful, at least with Cassidy, the joke is directed solely at the players.
They're racist.
Ruby is the best chroma, 5 out of 10. Battle Queen Misfortune, MF's third skin of 2024, fifth skin in the last 16 months, and 22nd skin overall, making her the undisputed queen of having the most total skins in the entire game. What's a Skarner? Besides that, though, I think it's a damn solid 1600s inspired Sky Pirate. Excellent color contrast with the bright red hair and bright purple dress. A very rare instance where the fan service matches the character, doesn't go too far, and actually makes them look unique from the rest of the cast.
Electric chair.
And my absolute favorite detail? A queen cannot be so without her crown, so she puts it over top of her hat. Kappa Juice enjoyers! Of course, other champions deserve this skin slot more, but if anything, Prestige Captain Fortune over here is leagues better than the ear damage inflicting porcelain and is only a fraction the price of the mythic scam. Musketeer Twisted Sapphire is the best chroma, 8 out of 10. Divine God King Darius and Fallen God King Garen. Speaking of mythic scams, fresh off MF's last monthly skin, now we have 2 at the same time.
Genius told me to do it.
And unlike the Riot social media managers, the concept isn't nearly as confusing as you may think. Back in the day, players got to pick a side in each versus event, the winner of which would dictate the rewards we got and progression of the story. I mean, the entire cosmic universe was destroyed because players voted for the Edgelord Lux to win. In fact, the Edgelord side wins in every single one of these versus events. This really says a lot about society. So 6 years after Darius has defeated Garen, they rise again to have their color schemes inverted.
It's opposite day.
Probably for a reason we'll never know. Mythic scams don't get bios.
Too bad it doesn't show in your writing.
Look, I'm sure the folks at Riot who worked on them put a lot of effort into these. The remodeled pets at the very least make it feel that way to an extent. But Darius' ult sounds weak as hell. Cape looks like he's wearing human flesh. Garen looks like they updated the animations for Wild Rift's version of Dread Knight. Or if you want to keep it League related, he looks like he scored an Empyrean cosplay from Value Village. And let's see, what else? Oh yeah, they cost $200 each.
This pyramid of money.
1 out of 10.
You blew it, you jerks.
As for the Battle Queens themselves, they get a 7.5 out of 10. Time will tell whether these retro runbacks were successful enough, but after this, Fairy Court and Animus Squad, I'm all for them. I'd love to see it continue. I mean, come on, we could give Sugar Rush another shot, allow Demacia Vice a second chance, hey, maybe expand the Kaiju skinline beyond just one. But those are my thoughts. How do you fellas feel about the return of Battle Queens and these freaks? Is this a fan favorite of yours finally returning? Perhaps you are as indifferent as I. Or maybe you are simply fuming at Riot's obvious lack of champion bias.
No one will ever know.
Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. So until next time, fellas, whether it be a filler skin, arcane event, or another mythic scam I'm sure is in the works, hopefully I'll see you in the next video. The corporate skins are real?